Hello, this is Billy Core from the Carolina Circle Mile Wiki. Today is Monday, May the 2nd of 2016, and what you're looking at is an old friend of ours we haven't seen on the channel in a while. This is the Toshiba Satellite 2505 CDS. Just to review, for those of you who are just joining me on this channel, this laptop was our family's very first laptop. My dad bought this new at a computer trade show at the Greensboro Coliseum in either September or October of 1999. It cost about $1,000 some. The original specs were, I think it was either a 233 megahertz or 266 megahertz Pentium MMX, which for some reason at the time we thought it was a Pentium 2. I didn't find out it was just a Pentium MMX until several years later, because I was stupid. A 2 gigabyte hard drive, which is long died since, because as you know, Toshiba hard drives are really not the most reliable. It's currently running off of a CF card, actually. And 32 megabytes of RAM, and Windows 98 First Edition, although right now this is running Second Edition. Now, when we bought this laptop, it came with all the original documentation and the Restore CD. And I used to use the Restore CD all the time on it. Even though it was only Windows 98 First Edition, I would just upgrade to Second Edition when I was able to. I started doing that in 2005 when I got an upgrade CD for that. Unfortunately, sometime around the year 2010, I want to say, I lost the Restore CD for it, and I have no clue where it went. It may have gotten thrown away somehow, but because of that, I haven't been able to restore it to the original factory image, which is quite unfortunate. So ever since then, I've just been doing clean installs of Windows 98 Second Edition, which works just fine, but you know, when it's available, I do like to have the original restore image on here. Now, that depends, of course. If it's just going to be a lot of junkware and bloatware, I'll just say forget that and just use a clean install of Windows. But excuse me. But like I said, when possible, and if it happens to come with useful software, I will use the original restore image. So last week I was on eBay looking at random vintage laptops, because I've been kind of in the market for a active matrix screen-based laptop with sound on it that could run Windows 3.1. Unfortunately, I did not find that. However, what I did find, even though I was not looking for it at all that night, I found for sale for about $15 the original books and restore CD that came with a Toshiba Satellite 2505 CDS, which you see right here. Now, I still have the owner's manual and the other stuff that came with this system, just not the restore CD. But I now have such the thing. And here's all the stuff I got in the mail today. Here's the owner's manual, companion diskette guide, safety instruction manual, the companion diskette, I forget what these do exactly, and what I was most interested in, the restore CD, which this one has actually never been opened. It's never been used. But we're going to change that right now. If I can cut through the plastic. Oh, there we go. There we go. Alright, and we'll break the red seal on here. And here's a brand spanking new Restore CD, presumably including Windows 98 First Edition, which is what the original disc I had for this included. So, let me just adjust the camera and zoom in on the screen here. Guess it'll work. Now, one thing we need to be careful with on this laptop is the power jack is quite loose from the main board. So if you touch this computer in just the right position, the whole computer will just completely lose power because the battery no longer keeps charge, which is unfortunate. So we'll again have to be a little extra careful when we come over here and open the CD-ROM. So far so good. I gotta tell you, one thing I am just a little bit worried about is the CD-ROM on the system is no longer in the best of health. Okay, we'll get out of that. So hopefully the CD-ROM will still be healthy enough to get us through the entire factory restore process. And to get it to boot from a CD, you gotta boot it up like an old Macintosh by holding the C key. Okay, so far so good. Welcome to the Toshiba Recovery Utility. I mean, no, not that. Welcome to the Toshiba Recovery Utility. This process will restore the factory installed software to your hard drive, or in this case, CF card. Note that the current contents of your hard drive will be erased and replaced by the original factory configuration. By selecting OK, you are accepting the terms of the Microsoft End User License Agreement that appears on the Windows License Agreement setup screen. Alright, F1 for OK. I tell you, I used to do this all the time on here. All the time. Warning! Continuing with this process will erase the current contents of your hard disk drive and replace them with the original factory software installation. To continue, press C. I'm going to turn the speakers down a little bit, that's a little loud. Alright, it's formatting the drive. Did it really quick, probably because of the fact that it's using a CF card. Oh yeah, and if you haven't noticed already, this is indeed a passive matrix display. Okay, this is going to be the long part of the restore process. This is the main part, I mean, where it's inflating and exflating and signing signatures and petitions and that kind of stuff. So, let's just cross our fingers that the CD-ROM drive will hold out and let us go through the entire process without it killing over. And but until then, I will rejoin you once this process is complete, or once this process has killed itself due to the bad CD-ROM. Okay, I think it's now safe to say that we're probably going to be okay. It just finished with the file copy process, and now it's calculating the checksum on drive C. This process also takes a little while. I just wanted to show what it looked like real quick, but I will pause this again, and we will return in the next part. Okay, this very odd looking message translates to we are done. So, all we have to do now, we're at an A prompt right now, but all we have to do is just simply give it a Control-Alt-Delete. And we're booting into our very fresh copy of Windows 98. This is pretty much what you would see if this computer was brand new and you were first turning it on. Alright. Okay, the Windows 98 Setup Wizard. This is basically going to ask us for some information. Type your name below. Okay, Billy Core. I completely and totally read that license agreement. Okay, I'm going to have to go get the product key. Be right back. Okay, Windows 98 saved all information. Click Finish to continue starting Windows 98. I'll just put in Billy. Okay, now it's going to have us set up our time zone. We're in the Eastern time zone, so we'll do that there. There we go. We do not have a printer to set up, so we'll cancel out that. I've always loved those drums right there when you set up Windows 98. I'm easily amused. Sometimes this process takes a while, sometimes it does not. In this case, we should be good to go. We do have sound, just had to turn it up a little bit. Oh yeah, I remembered this stuff. I love this opening music. Okay, we can now take our CD out of the drive, and this is what a factory install on a Toshiba Satellite 2505 CDS looks like. We get a special version of the Windows 98 Active Desktop wallpaper, which gives us hyperlinks to register your computer and get a free game, get 2 months of free internet access, keep your system current, and learn about your warranty. And for desktop icons, we got shortcuts to Prodigy Internet, Microsoft Outlook. This is Outlook 98. I actually still have the CD for that. A shortcut to Microsoft Works. I'm pretty sure it's version 4.5. Microsoft Golf 3.0, which, if you ask me, is kind of not a good idea for this kind of system because this is a passive matrix display. So you can imagine that is a problem. And we get Disney's Daily Blast, which came pre-installed on a lot of systems in the late 90s, it seems like. Not only did this Toshiba come with it, but I recall my old HP Pavilion that we got in 1999 came with that. And I want to say that my never obsolete E-machine in early 2000 came with it as well. I was never subscribed to it, but I just remember seeing it all the time on here. Got Ring Central, which must be some kind of telephone answering system. Setup wizard will guide you through the simple process. Ring Central uses the power of your modem and PC to centralize all your communication needs in one easy-to-use interface. In other words, stuff you don't need. Microsoft Money, I'm guessing Money 98. Encarta, I believe that's Encarta 98. And Quicken Basic 98. So we'll go into the start menu and see what we got. Got Disney's Daily Blast again. Internet Explorer stuff. I believe this is version 4, probably 5, I want to guess. Keep in mind this is 98 First Edition. Got Front Page Express, which you do not get in Second Edition, believe it or not. Microsoft Chat, Microsoft Net Meeting, Mediamatic Software MPEG, which is some kind of media player, I imagine, a video CD player. Yes, this was back in the day of video CDs. That never really caught on, as you can imagine. Golf 3.0 again. Encarta 98. Microsoft Works. Again, I'm pretty sure that's 4.5. Norton Antivirus. Believe it or not, yeah. Got your online services. Quicken. Ring Central again. The Toshiba applications, Toshiba utilities, Global Chat, Microsoft Works again, Microsoft Money, Microsoft Outlook, MS-DOS prompt, and Quicken Basic. Anything in accessories we can look at that's interesting? No, not really, just standard stuff here. Let's take a look at Microsoft Works and see what version we have. Yep, version 4.5. Works for Windows 95, even though this is Windows 98. So we'll open up the Works word processor. I don't need to be saving that. You know, a lot of times when I would have this factory install, I would usually immediately upgrade it to Windows ME. The reason I would install Windows ME on here was because Windows 98 First Edition did not have proper support for my Netgear wireless card that I was using in the early to mid 2000s. Okay, maybe not early 2000s, but in the mid 2000s I was using a Netgear wireless card on here, and Windows 98 First Edition did not like it, so I'd have to upgrade to Windows ME in order for that card to work. But then eventually, I believe it was in 2005, I was able to obtain a copy of Windows 98 Second Edition, and I was able to instead upgrade from First Edition to Second Edition and just ignore Windows ME completely, which ran quite slow on here. Wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it did run considerably slow. Going to System Properties and Touch of Tomorrow. Got a Pentium MMX. Going to Device Manager. Chips and Technologies video card. Yamaha OPL3. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take care of something. We got a Yamaha OPL3 SAX sound system, which is actually a pretty good sound card for what it is. You get really good MIDI on it. FM synthesis it is. And the USB, it just does, ugh, I can't talk today, folks. This has a USB on it, a USB port on it, but unfortunately, sometime in the late 2000s, the USB port got completely destroyed, so this no longer has USB. I'm sad to say. Okay, I've got a DOS directory on here. Stupid stuff, I guess. Now, there's something I want to see. Oh yeah. This is a interesting little screensaver that Toshiba bundled with this computer that I used to enjoy back in the day. Let's take a look at it. Boy, this is late 90s, huh?
Toshiba satellite.
I remember that part. Okay, I think it's just repeating now. But yeah, that was kind of cool. I guess it's what they used to use when they would have this on display at stores. So yeah, that was kind of cool. And again, this is a passive matrix display. If you haven't figured that out, there was an active matrix version of this computer that was made. The Toshiba Satellite 2505 CDT. I have never seen it in person. I've never even seen any pictures of it, but I do know it exists because it's listed on Toshiba's support site. So I would love to find one someday. That would be really, really cool to have. So yeah, I guess that's about all there is to show in this video. It's cool to have the original factory image on here again, and I figured you guys would enjoy seeing it. Next thing I'm going to do with this is upgrade it to Windows 98 2nd Edition. So I'll probably just do that off camera. But this is Billy Core signing off.